Hey YouTube pipe community, this is Sean with Ream Pipes. This is the further video of progress on this shield pipe that I'm doing. This one is going to be a really fun stem, lots of bright colors going on. I'm not entirely sure what the stain on the pipe is going to be yet, but I kind of have an idea. Darker, maybe even black from a lot of the back of the bowl, and then the front panel will be a contrasted bird's eye smooth. That's the plan so far. We'll see how that goes. So I thought, having white as an accent for the stem would be cool, and then this electric green accent material. So as you can see, I got a tenon of delrin ready, where I drilled it out with 5/32, cut some grooves into it, and then cross hatched those grooves with a little saw. And then I took our faux ivory stem material here and faced it off, drilled out the other side with a 1/16 inch bit. And this is how I do all my stems. They get a 1/16 inch bit all the way through. Then I flip it over, face it off, drive the 16th through again, and that just acts as a pilot hole for all of it, and the start of my button, or the start of my slot on the button side. So here I've got an 1/8 inch that I'm just hogging away material, so that way it's got my my tapered 5/32 here has a better chance to last longer. Basically, it'll just cut through, but I like to do it that way so that way they last longer. Now here you can see I'm cutting a shoulder. So every accent on a stem is going to have a mortise and tenon fit, kind of like in the mortise and tenon of your pipe. That way it's structural. You don't have the weight of the tenon or the weight of the pipe leveraging off the tenon within an accent that's just glued face to face. That just doesn't work. So here you can see I take a pin gauge and I'm using it as a guide. I don't get it exact because I'm trying to get a really tight fit on here. And so I end up having to do it a couple times. And this is how I usually do it. Sometimes it'll happen to where it's perfect. More often than not, I go back and shave a little bit off here and there. And so this is kind of funny. I glue this. I didn't do a complete test fit, and it gets stuck. It's stuck right there. So I actually have to ram it home with the tailstock, which I typically don't do, but it worked out just fine. Everything's seated the way it was supposed to. It's a nice pressure fit at this point. So I face it off here, and then make sure I've got a nice clean face for the stem and shank junction. And then right here I'm taking off some material, trying to get it to the diameter I want. In this case it's 20 millimeters, since it's a pretty chunky pipe, so that's pretty large. But here I'm defining the little accent swoop, or flare that's going to be on this stem. And then at the last minute I had the idea that, let's try and make this a fancy styled stem, and see what it looks like when I cut into the faux ivory, see what it looks like when I cut into the ivory. And it looks really cool. I think you can see that at the beginning of the video. So we've already got a pilot hole with our 5/32. So now I've come in with a 5/16 bit for the mortise for my tenon. And then there I was taking an 1/8 inch bit, or 1/16 inch bit, and cutting some grooves. And then here we're getting 2-part epoxy. Every tenon junction, I always do a 2-part epoxy. Some people say that you can use super glue. I'm not going to risk that on an expensive pipe. 2-part epoxies worked for 11 years, so since I've been using it. I've been using the exact same kind ever since. So here I'm just cleaning up the glue, and that's basically it.